Had an amazing week. As promised, here's the show that we have been waiting for. It is the Boys Club episode. I have Ken and Bobby here. Unfortunately, Chris was not able to make it today. Something had come up, but he assures me he's definitely going to be here next time. And so I'm really excited. I don't want to spend very much time talking about me because this is not why you guys are here today. You guys are here for the boys. So Ken, Bobby, I hope you guys are totally ready. I'm a shit show. That's what it is right now. But we are about to get unzipped. We all have a story on how we got here, right? So for me, I used to be over 350 pounds. Until one day, I made the single decision that I wanted change. Weight loss surgery has saved my life, and now I am here for you. I want to hear your story.
You know, the one that happened during that before and after picture? It's time to unzip. What's your story?
And that's how I'm starting the show today. I am literally a shit show today, but I don't care because I am so excited right now. And you guys, I am just so blessed and grateful that you are joining me today and that we can laugh together. I'd like to think you're laughing with me and not at me.
Of course.
Just give the people what they want. Guys, welcome to the show. It's so great to hear you. We have great guests. It's a shit show. Let's get unzipped.
Oh my God. On
Great
that
intro.
note, how you guys doing today?
Hey everybody. Oh, I mean, I'm excited. I really am excited. So I'm friends with Bobby on TikTok, but I've never had a conversation with Bobby, and I'm like, oh, he's exactly what you see on there. He's just a cool, happy, loving guy, and I'm really enjoying the process so far.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
How about you, Bobby? How you doing today?
Feeling good. A little tired, but we're ready to go.
Fantastic.
We are ready to go. So I hope you guys are ready. So I feel like we should just kind of like get right into it because so here's like the usual MO of how my show goes is I have a million questions and then we don't get to like nearly any of them because we're going to shoot the shit. We have people watching live right now, which is really exciting. So hopefully if you guys are watching, thank you so much. Send us your comments, your questions, and we're just going to like be on this little roller coaster together today. And then as it goes on, I'll be less and less like a shit show. Don't you worry.
Yes.
So question number one, let's see. I think this is one of the biggest questions that people ask because you guys are both on TikTok. So there's a lot of people that are sharing their journeys when it comes to weight loss surgery. But one thing that we can all agree on is the majority of the content is all women. There's not a lot of guys talking about their experiences. And I'm just really curious. And Bobby, if you want, you can go first, Ken, whoever. Why do you think that men are just not as vocal about this surgery?
That's a good question because I don't even know.
It's a fantastic question. We don't know why. Like why? I mean, Bobby and I talk about it, but like, I don't really see that many other people discussing it, right?
Yeah. I mean, the last time we talked about it, like I said something about how maybe men are more ashamed of it because they didn't man up and do it the natural way. I mean, that's that. I don't know.
I wonder about that too. Like, cause you go, is it very motivational from like a testosterone standpoint to be like, here he is putting his protein powder in his like milk and like, eating one scrambled egg. Like, I think like there's like a view that's like, unless you're like in the gym with like chains around your neck and flipping tires, like there's that's the view of like a male, like a healthy male. And I just don't think like how we're taking care of it is like necessarily like the view, I guess. I don't know.
And
it's weird.
I know, I don't understand why that is. But, I know that one thing, at least from the woman's perspective, let me tell you what irritates me about you men. Is that
sure?
Okay? Okay.
Please. I hear it all the time. Go for it.
So if like man and woman does like any kind of a weight loss challenge or a weight loss like kick together, the man is going to lose so much weight right off the top. And
Yeah.
the women, I feel like it takes forever to lose weight, and it's so frustrating. So I'm almost wondering, like, what were some of the things that you guys had done in the past to try to lose weight? Was it just not coming off quickly for you guys, or was there something else in the way?
Do you remember any of the diets you used to try before this, Bobby?
Keto,
Yep.
the Atkins, the
Yep.
Weight Watchers, counting your
Yep.
points and stuff.
Yep.
I tried a all meat diet where all I ate was meat.
I tried an old diet that was all vegetables pureed.
Yeah.
Like
I did
Puree?
Oh yeah, it was disgusting. It was disgusting.
Oh god.
Awful. I lost weight, but it sucked doing it. Obviously, you don't stick
Mhm.
with that. No one's like, "Yay, kale smoothies!" Like, eh.
No. Yeah, I did a keto for like 2 months and lost like 30 pounds. And
Insane.
then I went on a cruise and boom, did not eat keto on the cruise and came back and never went back to it.
Yeah, for those of you that do keto, cruises are not the thing you want to go for. It's not very keto friendly on the open seas.
No, not at all. Not at all.
So somebody had given us a comment that there's a macho stigma that prevents a lot of guys from being open about certain procedures that they go through.
Well, that makes sense.
It does make sense, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I ran into this problem when I was looking into it at first, because like, I don't know if you did this, Bobby, but like when I was looking into weight loss surgery, I was like, there's got to be somebody on here, like YouTube or something, like that's talking about it, that like I was here and now I'm there, just because like you want to see like where you could go. And it was startling how from aside from like maybe 2 people and one had died from a heart attack, I was like, I don't see anybody doing it. So is it possible? Or does it just never happen? And that was terrifying to me.
Well, see, one good thing I had is my dad had gastric bypass in 2007, and he was at like roughly 400 pounds, and he got down to like 220. So he lost a lot of weight. Right now, like I said, it was 2007, and right now he's probably floating around 260.
Okay.
So he's kept a lot of it off. And so if I ever had any questions, I mean, I was not with him through it because I was a kid, but I remember a lot of the stuff he had to go through. And I've seen where he was and where he is now. And so that was a big motivator for me. Plus, my aunt had it done 4 years ago, or now it's probably been about 6 years ago, through the same place I went through. And so she was telling me how good of an experience she had and all that stuff.
That's so your dad had it in 2007. So did he have it laparoscopically, or did he have like the old fashioned way where they
the laparoscopically?
Oh, okay. Okay. Sherry had a guest on last week where she had it like the way they used to do it, and it sounds terrible, like in terms of recovery.
Yeah, she had it like 25 years ago. So they like literally cut her open from like, I think the hip and like, from like breastbone to belly. Oh, it was insane.
Yeah. It wasn't just gas pain she was going through. It was, I've been ripped open like a trout. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm curious. So because guys are not talking about this and they're not being as vocal, somebody had commented that they don't share because they don't want to be judged by other men. I do think that there is a stigma that exists that it's not as manly to do something like this. So because there's so limited resources out there from the male perspective, what kind of motivated you guys to put yourselves out there in a vulnerable place and be open about it? Don't answer at once now.
For me, it was I got started on TikTok as like an accountability thing. Like when I when I was talking about stuff, I was on the other side of weight loss surgery, which was I was 400 pounds again. So like I was trying to like be like, I got to do something. And for some reason, like public humiliation is like a huge motivator to me. So I'm like, if I say, hey guys, I'm overweight, I'm a weight loss surgery patient, I want to lose X amount of weight in X amount of time, I'm going to follow through with it because I don't want to look ridiculous. And I hate that about me, but it works. But then like going through it, like once you start to get the hang of it, my thing became, I know if I'm going through this, I know that there are other people that are going through it too. And people would start to reach out, be like, I also regained, I don't know what to do. And I was like, okay, so it's important to start the discussion. And that's where we are right now.
Yeah, see, I knew a bunch of people my age that, because I turned 25 last month, or the month before last. And so I know a bunch of people that are overweight that are my age that not necessarily don't even know about weight loss surgery. They've never been told about it. And so I was like, well, if they don't know about it, I wonder how many other people my age don't know about it.
Sure.
And so the morning of my surgery, I just had surgery at like 9 o'clock, and I think it was like 11:30, 12 o'clock. I posted my first video on TikTok. I was in my little gown and everything, and was not expecting it. I mean, it didn't, when I say it blew up, it didn't blow up.
Oh, it did. Yeah,
I
I watched that this morning, the one that has like 90,000 views. So
Yeah.
like I've seen that like 3 or 4 times. I looked at it this morning and I was like, there was always something about it. I couldn't put my finger on it. You had the hospital gown on, but you had one on the back too. I had to do the same thing. It looks like you're in Lord of the Rings. Like you look like you have a cape. So you look like Frodo, like having surgery. And I was like, there was always something just like a little. I was like, my brain is like, there's something here. There's something here. Like, what is it? And this morning I was like, it's because he looks like Lord of the Rings.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll go back and watch it again. That's awesome.
Yeah, totally.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that morning, I never expected that to blow up, because I posted it, and I don't even think I got back on TikTok that entire day. And that next morning, I woke up and had I think I had 1,900 followers. And I went to bed with like 4. And so I was like, whoa, what happened? And a lot of people were reaching out to me like, what happened? Why are you in the hospital? Even though in the video, I told you everything.
You're talking about it, yeah.
Yeah, and so I can't tell you how many people messaged me like asking more information about it. And so I figured, well, I'll just talk about it. So the first couple of weeks I posted like a daily update and everything, but that's hard to do, especially when I had a bunch of stuff to do around the house, and work and all this other good stuff. But yeah, I just did it to let people know that it is an option if you can't get it off.
What did it feel like to so sorry, I'm stealing the show, Sherry.
I don't even need to be here.
What did it feel like to open your phone and see that that many people were interested in what you were going through on a personal level?
Well, so when I first opened my phone, because of COVID, they would only let my wife come in for a certain time frame.
Yeah.
So she came in or whatever, and she was like, "Hey, I saw your video." But when she saw it, it had 150 likes.
Sure.
And like I said, this was the next day because she couldn't stay with me in the hospital. They ended up getting a hotel in Greenville, and so she came in. She's like, "Hey, I saw your video. You got a couple likes." And I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I'll look at it later." And so we talked or whatever. And then she was like, "Oh, I gotta leave." So she left. And I was like, well, "Let me see how many people liked it." And that's when I opened it up, and I was like, well, I thought my phone was glitching. I was like, "What is going on?" And I think I had 150 DMs. It was so many DMs asking about it. I mean, it took me I spent the next week just going through and responding to people.
That's so cool.
It was overwhelming, but it was also really exciting because I was like, wow, I didn't know this would actually happen,
Of course.
That's crazy. Yeah. Ken, is it okay with you if I ask a question? I just want to make sure I'm not stepping on any toes.
It depends real quick. Do you want to run it by me real quick? Just shoot me in the chat.
I'm going to shoot you in the chat real quick.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to assume that neither of you guys made these videos with the intention that you're going to have a huge following or anything. Like Ken, it was more about the accountability. Bobby's like, hey, I'm just going to put my shit out there. In both your cases, you guys both have kind of exploded. You guys have a ton of followers now. You're constantly growing. And so somebody had asked a question, which I thought was excellent, is you're now getting attention that you've never gotten before on a level that you never thought possible. So how do you guys humble yourselves and keep your egos in check from not letting it kind of consume you? Is that a good question? Is that a good question?
I think it's a good question. You want to go first, Bobby?
You lead the way. I'll wrap it up.
I'll lead. So I just, this is gonna sound awful. I pretend like it's not true. It's crazy to me that I mean, I see the numbers and I open it and it's definitely real, but I'm I like to pretend they're bots. There's no way that there's that many people that care about what I have to say, let alone, I mean, we talked about this a little bit more, but if you look at the numbers in terms of they tell you male versus female, if I went back in time and went to high school Ken was like, hey, high school Ken, when you turn 35, there's going to be 50,000 women that care about what you have to say on some sort of level. And I would be like, That's an oddly specific number, but I also don't buy it. Like, but okay, yeah, right. Later, clear mirage or, psychotic break. It's one of those things like where you appreciate it. It's so cool. It's definitely different. I mean, especially, at least for me, like I always grew up like not the center of attention, not any form of attention. It was just I wasn't on people's radars, which is kind of where I wanted to stay because I was just perpetually embarrassed. Like I was always apologizing for taking up space and stuff like that. It's cool. It's cool, and I really appreciate it, and I hope that helps not let it go to my giant head, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree. The whole aspect of like just kind of like pretending it's not real, because I mean, I don't have 15,000 people at my front door. Like the only time I ever interact with these 15,000 is when I open my phone and go to that app. So life outside of the app is exactly the same as it was if I didn't open the phone.
Yes, but do you ever go to do this next time? Because if you don't, next time you go to a store and you see like a long line, imagine if that line represented people that wanted to talk to you, and then just be like, that's like 6 or 7 people. And you're like, now multiply that by a few hundred or 1,000. And you're like, and that's like how many people are interested or think about you or interact with something that you say. It's insane. It's absolutely insane.
I never thought about it that way.
Next time, definitely try it because it'll blow your mind. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now, Bobby, have you ever been recognized from TikTok being somewhere?
So I have a buddy of mine.
Yes.
And when we're out in town, if I ever run into him, because I have a Jeep. I don't even know if I posted about it, but I have a Jeep Wrangler, and I'm in a group where I live. And one of the other guys, he's a really big part of my life here recently since I've started doing upgrades to it or whatever. And if I ever see him out in town and don't plan it, he just starts yelling Bariatric Bobby. We'll be in Walmart, we'll be in Target, we could be in the mall. It does not matter. He's like, oh my God, there's Bariatric Bobby. And so if anybody recognized me where I live, it's probably because of him. But that's about it.
That's so funny.
No, yeah,
that's funny, and it's cool though. Like that's.
Yeah.
Is it weird that I kind of want somebody to follow me around and just shout that out to people when I'm walking around the street?
Just scream Bariatric Bobby at you? I could do that. That's fine.
Oh, that'd be awesome. It'd be so out of context, no one would have a clue what they're talking about.
Like, all right.
Well, I meant more like yelling my name out in public. Like,
all right.
Bariatric Bobby would probably be way more funner because people are going to be so confused. What about you, Mister? Have you had anybody recognize you?
You know I have. Come on.
Well, they don't know I know the answer.
No, that's true. So like, oh God, last week I had it like back to back. So like, obviously I make food videos, so I go to the grocery store a lot, and I sometimes do it in the middle of the afternoon. I was wearing, the bite-sized shirt, and I just walked out and just didn't even think of it. I go to the grocery store, I'm grabbing my stuff. I'm an introvert. So like I always have headphones in, and I'm walking out and someone taps me and she's got this giant smile on her face. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, and I take an earbud. She's like, I follow you on TikTok. Can I have a hug? And I'm like, yes, of course. And I gave her like a hug. She's like, I love your videos. And I was like panicked a little bit because I was like, it was almost like I was shocked, but then like my brain was starting to catch up with like her level of excitement and what was going on. It was like a little bit like I'm shaking thinking about it. Like it was just like startling because I'm not used to it. So I tell my fiance about this, and she was like, yeah, that sounds nice, whatever. I'm at another grocery store the next day, right? And I have my headphones in and I'm talking to her about this. She's like, oh, how's your day? I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. And I hear, hey, like going down this escalator. She's on this escalator next to me. And my fiance is like, what is that? I'm like, hang on. Like, she's like, I follow you on TikTok. And I was like, Bariatric. And I was like, hey, like, I never know how to react to that. And then I put my other earbud. She's like, was that a fan? I'm like, I think so. And she's like, does that happen to you often? I'm like, recently, yes. And it's, and it was nice that, cause like I tell people when it happens, cause it's exciting, but like to have somebody there to witness it or hear it, I was like, I promise you, I'm not making it up. Like it happens.
That's awesome. Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Amanda. Hi, Amanda. So Amanda's actually one of my real world buddies now. She bumped into me. So I walk at the mall every morning, and we were like, I used to take videos in there all the time. They're like, is that the Natick Mall? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm there too. And she bumped me at the grocery store again, because that's where I hang out. That's where if you don't work in my office, you see me at the grocery store apparently. So I bumped into Amanda. We had a very nice time and went for a nice walk. And I love that, because if I didn't have that, I would never talk to people. Apparently, I wouldn't have any friends, like, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's something that you and I are very similar in, is that we're very, very introverted in the beginning. We're the ones in the corner, watching the room, and then unless you approach us, then we're going to have a conversation. But I think, Bobby, you and I have talked, like, you were very, very much social even at a younger age.
Yeah, my whole life, like, I would talk to anybody. Like,
I'm so jealous
I think it's because
you.
my dad would, like, we can be at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and he'll just be like, hey, man, how's it going? Just anyone. And I think that now the more weight that I lose, the more I can do that. But before, I would do it anyhow. Like in school, I didn't fit in. I hung out with everyone. Like there were so many different cliques that I would just walk up to and start having a conversation. And I mean, I've never really struggled with that. Now, when it came to girls, I would struggle a little bit more. Like I was a lot more friendly with men than I was with women. But that too also changes when you lose weight. But
sure. I feel like you're doing like Street Magician in front of me right now. I'm like, how did you do that? Like, yes, that is my. Like, what do you mean you used to walk up to people and just say hi and just interact? Like, you're blowing my mind right now.
Some free shit right there.
Yeah.
So somebody asked a question. Besides eating healthier, what else do you guys do to keep the weight off right now?
So I wake up like religiously every morning, and I go for a 3-mile walk, and that is my base. That is what I've done to lose all the weight again. That's what I've done to keep the weight off. That's what I'm doing now. I started training for a half marathon today. That is just whatever. It doesn't matter what I do. Doesn't matter where my head's at. My day always starts with a 3-mile walk, and that's my comfort zone.
3 miles.
3 miles. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Stop. No. Yeah, it's just like I feel like, because you never know what the day is going to throw at you, right? So like whether you're having a rough day at work or you're fighting with somebody, like those urges to like overeat are gonna rear their ugly heads from time to time. And like I always go into it, I'm like, it's like my insurance policy. I'm like, I'm trying to maintain, I'm sticking to it. But if I do that thing first thing in the morning, that's me time. It's when I kind of like reflect, and I really do enjoy my mornings. If I do that, like I can pretty much take on anything that the day has to throw at me.
So now, when it comes to exercising, do you like exercising alone or with people, or with your fiance or with someone?
I can't exercise with people. I can't.
Okay.
I don't. Can you?
No, I'm like, so.
Okay, thank God. Okay, thank God. Okay.
So I've had a couple people reach out to me locally and be like, hey man, when you go to the gym, let me know and I'll go with you.
Really?
And I say, well, I appreciate it, but okay, and I never text them because I like putting my earbuds in, my earphones or headphones or whatever, and I like focusing. So here recently, we actually bought a treadmill and a little weight bench machine for our house. And my wife, she works night shift right now. She's fixing to go to day shift, but she works night shift right now, and she has random days off. So the random days that she has off, she's like, hey, I'll work out with you. I really don't want you to, but I can't tell her that. She's going to watch this later and be like, really, you feel that way?
Yeah. But this isn't like a boys only club. It's just like, you listen to music, you focus on the music, and that's not like social hour. This is me time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so
it depends on the workout too. Like at the gym, I do like to be by myself, but I don't know. But I'm a talker too. Like I like to feel like, if you're doing it together and having a conversation, I feel like it makes the time pass. But my husband has made it very, very clear that we are not allowed to work out together.
You're not allowed. There's no. Can you go to the gym together and then go your separate ways, or is it like you can't even be in the same facility?
No, we can be in the same building together, but we cannot like work out in the vicinity together because he will find this incessant need to come find me and correct what I'm doing. And I know he's watching right now, so but you know it's freaking truth.
He loves you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
He wants to make sure I'm not looking stupid or I'm doing things correctly. But because I'm not doing it correctly, I am interfering with his workout. And
Sure.
we can't have that.
I would imagine you'd be very distracting in that way. Sure.
That's all.
What do you call it? I went for my first run this morning, and I saw two guys like running, and they were having like a full blown conversation, and I was like, it was like seeing people on unicycles. I was like, how are you doing that? Like, it's just
Running?
they were running together, but they were like talking, like like having a conversation about like work or something, and I was like, how are you doing that? Like,
I'm breathing if I was
yes,
running.
Exactly. Yeah, or I have to pretend I'm not here right now. Like, I can't be conversing with somebody. It's just not going to happen.
No, but would you be opposed to like going on a walk with someone and just having a conversation?
That's fine. I'll do that. All guys, open invitation. You want to go for a walk with me? I will walk with you, no problem. But like, if we're running, leave me the f alone. Like, I'm not a social butterfly in that arena.
Well, and I'm not a runner. Like I posted that video like a week ago. I tried sprints for the first time. I spent longer trying to catch my breath than I did actually sprinting.
But didn't it feel good? Mentally, didn't it feel good?
Yeah, it felt really amazing.
Felt good, right?
I've never done that before.
It's cool to do things you've never done before. I was never a fan of it, but now that I'm doing it, I'm like, I kind of see the utility of it. It's exciting. It's cool, especially if you get good at it.
Yeah. So I have a really good idea for a TikTok live that we can do, the three of us, and we can all go on a walk together and just have a conversation.
You want to do I'd be cool with that. I don't know. You have to ask Bobby though. See if he's up for that.
I know. Are you up for that, Bobby?
Yeah, that's fine. I've been walking around a field.
He doesn't seem thrilled, I'll be honest. So I'll be fine.
We're gonna have fun. Okay, so you know what I would love to do? So I think it was I know, Ken, I think it was one of the shows that you and I did, and we were talking about how we need to have like a get-together, like a bariatric get-together.
That'd be cool.
So I have an idea for a future show because one day, like, we're all going to get really, really big, and we're going to be able to travel wherever we want. Like, those are the hashtag goals. I think an episode that would be so fun is to do, like, a bariatric dinner party where, like, we sit around the table and, like, we just talk all things bariatric and shoot the shit. And because I know, Ken, how much you love having like conversations and being in social situations, so you're going to be in charge of cooking dinner for the night. I will do the desserts, and then Bobby's going to be there. You can bring whatever you want, and we're just going to shoot the shit. But we're going to be in person in the same room.
I love that. I love that. I love that plan so much. As long as I have a goal to do, I have an action to do where I get to come and go as I please. I'm totally all for that.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think of I'm giving you shit to do. I'll keep it like more of like an intimate dinner party, so it's not like a big social gathering, so it won't be so overwhelming. And then you just can't say no. Because I can't take care of all the issues.
That sounds ideal, and please don't take it personally if I don't make eye contact. Apparently, I have a hard time doing that with people. But like, aside from that, like I'm all on board for that. Absolutely.
That's fine. 100%. You can wear sunglasses if you want, if that makes you feel better.
Yes. I keep them at my desk all times. Here we go. Oh my God, I'm so much more comfortable on this now. Okay.
Knock yourself out. I love it.
I don't have any.
So I do have a question. Oh, actually, somebody, I just like see if I can scroll up because one of the guys asked a question for you. How do you guys deal with loose skin?
Ooh.
I just leave it be. See, mine's more like elastic than anything. Like it just stretches.
My trick is I wear dress shirts, but then I roll the sleeve up, so you can't really see any of that stuff.
That's smart.
It's it is what it is. I'm in. Can I just? So this is a confession. I am in awe that you are on so many videos without your shirt on. I wish I had that confidence. I really do. I wish that. Like, I thought, like, I was like, oh, you have so many videos where you're not wearing a shirt, and I would freaking die if I ever felt comfortable enough to do that. Like, I wanted to just give you a little praise, man, because like,
thank you.
that is an aspirational goal. I want to be that comfortable in my body.
Well, see, if you look at most of the videos, okay, well, I guess like the transformation ones, yeah, I don't have a shirt on, but like if I ever like post a video where I'm talking, most of the time it's from like here up. So
I get that. I get that.
But because like most of my loose skin, like I don't have hardly any of my arms. Like I said, it's just a little bit, but it's more like stretchy skin than it is like hanging down. But all of my skin is in my lower stomach and my thighs. Because my thighs, when I was at my heaviest, were not fun. And so, but I mean, like I said, I've never been like ashamed, even when I was big, to take my shirt off at the beach or it didn't matter at the pool.
I love that confidence because I do not have that like whatsoever.
No, nor do I.
I'm not gonna be walking around without a shirt on. Sorry.
It almost makes me wonder if we had the same procedure, because like that's like I don't have that. Like I don't have that confidence that you have. If I could put that into a bottle, man, and sell it. Oh, so jealous.
Did you have a question, Ken, or is it okay if I ask another question?
I think you the last one went over pretty well. I think we can do another one if you like.
This was actually an excellent. I thought it was a very excellent question because this can be applied to both men and women. But I'm curious for you. So in one of the groups yesterday, a mom was concerned because her son is becoming, very large. He's struggling with obesity, and she's really struggling with how do you have that conversation with somebody that you love that you're concerned about their weight. So I'm curious how, like, if someone was to approach you guys with that subject, is there a way that it could be approached where it wouldn't be as offensive or embarrassing, or what would you suggest?
Have you ever gotten this question from someone, Bobby? Because I get it so much, and I don't have like I don't think I have like a good answer for it yet.
So I've never personally received that question, but like one thing I would do is not necessarily like confront them, but like she takes charge, like, hey, I'm gonna go for a walk. You want to go for a walk with me? And just like subtly, hey, try this. I cook this. Try it. If it tastes good, like, hey, this is actually pretty healthy, and just trying to like subtly insert healthy thoughts and healthy ideas. Because it's very difficult to be like, hey, you're packing on a couple extra pounds. We might want to.
When you were growing up as a kid, did you have weight issues as like a kid, like 11, 12? Okay. And did your parents ever try to like address it or talk to you about it?
I used to go to the YMCA every summer for Change for Children, and they pretty much drop you off and make you work out the entire day.
No way.
It was terrible. Like, the little, like, where you step up and step down. Oh my God, that is engraved. It's like a nightmare that I have.
That sounds awful. They would just drop you off and thingy. Oh my God. Like, it sounded cool at first.
They try to make it fun. They'd be like, oh yeah, let's go play dodgeball for 4 hours. No, don't sit down. Keep throwing it.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's a good program, but I just have not that fond memories.
Did they serve lunch at this? Like, did they serve like a healthy lunch like afterwards?
I don't know. I think it was. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember. They had to have given something. I remember one time it was like very contradictory. So our very last day, they made us do the little stair stepper crap, and then we made our own ice cream. So pretty much we just burned the calories we didn't even burn nearly as many calories as we ate, but But they tried to end it on a good note. But that's probably
it's certainly contradictory. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So did anybody ever have a conversation with either of you guys about your weight?
My mom tried to address it several times, and kudos for her, because like I was never into it. Like, I definitely hated the way I looked. I definitely was embarrassed all the time. But like I would feel more embarrassed when she would bring it up. I remember one time, and this does not represent my mom. Like, this is not like a it's not a great story, but she bought a treadmill at a yard sale and took the power cord off of it and would have me like walk the treadmill. So I would have to push the treadmill track and we had a small place. So like it would be in front of the kitchen. And I remember one time she served my other siblings like dinner while I was walking on this. And I vividly remember that because I was like, I felt like I was like, my weight was on display, like hardcore. And I feel bad. I at the time, like before recently, like I felt really awful about that, like almost spiteful. But I can't imagine as a parent, like having those fears that like you're like, it's not just like an obesity thing. You're like, it's like the trajectory, right? If I hadn't addressed my weight when I did, I probably wouldn't be here right now. And that's the truth. I know that about me. Um, it's hard to see somebody that you love head in a direction where you're like, I don't think that this is like this leads to anywhere healthy or good for them. But like having a conversation with them that like like that, you know, changes their mind or changes their trajectory, that's also a very hard and difficult thing to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
really wish that there was like a good like a good
Yeah.
program or a good path for it, because it just seems like so confusing.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like the person, the individual themselves, has to hit that limit. Like there's that breaking point, and I don't know if you can encourage that breaking point on anyone unless you do it like shamefully, like try to hurt their feelings on purpose. You know that.
I mean, even if like even if someone was physically like moving your legs for you, like eventually like they're gonna stop that, and then you're just gonna go back to what you were doing. Like you can't force it on somebody, but it's that at the same point is like all you can really do is you just have to have an open conversation, see where they're at, see if they want to do anything about it, and just keep checking in with them and just hope that something clicks, because like you can't make somebody change. You just can't.
Right.
It's just not going to happen that way.
And I think it's such a hard conversation to have, like whether it's men or women. And I know that people who bring it up, I know that they don't have like malice or ill intent behind it,
No.
but sometimes it just comes off as very insensitive or rude. And I used to have this woman, like a friend of my mom's, who used to always come for the holidays. And like when I was at my heaviest, every single time I saw her, it was always like, "Oh, Sherry, you need to talk to my friend because she just went to UCLA and there's this new weight loss program there, and you really need to check it out because she got really well." And I'm like, it's Thanksgiving. Like, do we really have to have this conversation today?
Right.
And now I don't want to eat anything. And it's like, why is it always being brought up? And I know that, I was over 350 pounds. Like, I know that she was probably concerned and wanted to help, but her method of helping just literally created more shame and more attention to it. And so that's what I struggle with. But I think like the best thing to do is, if you genuinely care about somebody, just have the conversation. Look, I'm really concerned about where you're at right now. And then maybe put it on them. Like, how do you feel about yourself? Or what can I do to help you get in the right direction? And maybe putting it in them. If it's, I just need motivation, or I need to talk to somebody, or I need something, and then be like, let me just support you. But I think oftentimes it's like everyone wants to give you their opinion on what they think you should do. And I think that that makes it worse, at least for me. I don't know.
There's definitely that. Then like, I mean, basically, with the world we live in now, and body positivity, and it's important to accept. That's all very important. Acceptance is very important. God knows I could have used a little bit of acceptance back in the day, but like acceptance like acceptance shouldn't like exclude any very important conversations. Like and I feel like that sometimes happens, because like then it gets kind of put back on you, because you're like, oh, am I being hateful? Like, I understand that that's a very emotional conversation to have with somebody. It would create emotions in me too, but it's up to that person that's having emotions to really kind of dive into why they're having a reaction to it. Is it something that they've also thought about, and now someone's like, oh, I also notice it, and then you think, I wonder how many other people are thinking about this, and just don't even try. It's there's no good solution, unfortunately. It really isn't. At least I don't think so.
That's so true. Oh, that's a good question. What's
that?
the most surprising thing that you have learned so far about yourself?
Oh God.
What I'm capable of at the gym.
Hell yeah.
So, back in middle school, and I don't know if whenever y'all were in middle school, if they made y'all like do like the pull ups, like you had to do the fitness pacer test or whatever
the presidential fitness.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking. Yeah.
So, like, we got graded on like if you could do a pull up, like I think you had to do 6 pull ups to get 100. There ain't no way. I think I weighed. So I right now I'm like 202. I've been
Sure.
trying my hardest to get to 199. Oh my gosh. I could probably try a little bit harder, but I've been trying pretty hard. But in middle school, I was probably about the same weight I am now, maybe a little bit heavier. And so it was all I could to hold on to the bar for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And a couple of months ago, probably about 3 or 4 months ago, I was at the gym. I was like, let me just try to do a pull up. And I did one. And I was like, that just shocked the crap out of me. I was like, I would have never dreamed of doing a pull up. And that's a pretty remarkable feeling. So that would be something I was surprised about, that I could actually do. I was strong enough to do that, light enough that I could do it, and strong enough that I could do it.
I had a similar experience, not with pull-ups, still can't do those. But like I remember someone was like, "Can you do push-ups?" And I was like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Let me try." And I was like, "Holy crap." Like it's just like you don't wake up one day being able to do stuff, but sometimes you do, and that was certainly one of them. That was a big one. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys, but I'm still weird when it comes to things. Like sometimes I still think I'm over 300 pounds, and
Sure.
it's like I'm always afraid to try something, and it's sadly it's not until somebody else says, "Well, just try it," and I'm like, "No, I can't do that," and they're like, "Well, just give it a try," and then you do it, and you're like, "Holy Smurf, I just freaking did it! Like this is amazing!" And then like, don't you laugh at me? I know what you're doing. And then I feel like it motivates you to keep going. And so now I'm in this weird kick where I just keep wanting to look for things that I can do that I've never done before. And like, what else can I find that I can try? And like, it just keeps like spurring you on.
That is like so I love that you do that. It's crazy the stuff that I mean, you were on I say this in the most kind way possible. You were on a stripper pole the other day, not too long ago. And like, I'm like, how is that even on your radar? And then you see pictures of yourself doing it, and you're like, that's so cool. That's absolutely it's not stripping.
Oh, okay. Like, you're on a stripper pole, and I was watching.
I'll send you a link, Bobby. You're good. So like, no. Like, so you want to explain it just so that people get the right context.
So what's really funny is this reminds me the last show that Ken and I did, there was a reference to Cash App, and Bobby was watching it, and he goes, "Why are people asking for your Cash App?" And so I feel like this is another one of those cases that there's like an actual backstory
to
it. So I remember like one of the things on my vision board was to take a pole dancing class, not because I wanted to be a stripper, but there's such an athleticism to be able to do that, and the upper body strength and the confidence you need to have to be able to do something like that was just one of those like bucket list items that just seems so far removed it was never going to happen. But since I've been doing these challenges and the weight's coming off and I'm feeling more confident, I'm like, I'm going down the list of all these things that I've had written down for so long, and one of them was taking a pole dancing class. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just try it and see what happens. And when I went, thankfully it was just a private lesson because I'm not comfortable being around a bunch of other, women just yet. And so she said, she's like, try this move. And like, it's like you're literally like on your back upside down and like hanging from this pole. And I'm like, and I'm looking at it. And the first thing I said was, no, wait, what's the weight limit? I don't think I can be on this. And she was looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, wait, I guess I'm not 300 pounds anymore. And so when I did it, it was so funny. So she's having me like upside down, and she was so excited because I do dancing and like my leg was straight. And she goes, "Oh my God, you look," she's like, "I have to take a picture." And I'm literally just hanging there while she's going to grab her phone. Like the blood is rushing to my head. She ends up grabbing my cell phone on accident, and she's trying to type her code into it. And she's like, "Wait, it's the wrong phone." And I'm like literally screaming at her like what my code is. Like meanwhile, I'm still just like hanging upside down in this position, all just to take a stupid picture to show people that it can be done, that I was so excited I was
But she's completely horizontal, right? She's holding the position so that the lady could grab her camera. And I'm just always I'm always like, it's so cool, like it's so cool that you find things like that to do and that you're still like, I'm gonna do that. I would be thinking about stuff like that for years before I'd be like, I might try that. And you're just constantly finding stuff like that.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm in this weird kick where because there was a time, and I think all three of us can relate, that we were told that if we didn't do something, we were not going to live a long life. It was going to be a very shortened life. Yeah. And I feel like for the last almost 8 years, I feel like I kind of not took advantage of that second chance, but I felt like I was still just existing for a long time. So I still have like this mindset that I could literally die tomorrow. And there's a lot of things that I want to be able to accomplish in life. And so I feel like, and maybe I'm going overboard with some of them, like I'm just like doing way too much. But I just feel like I got this second chance at life, and I need to seize every moment that I'm presented with and try things that I've just never done before.
It's very cool. It's very cool, and it's aspirational, and it's what people should be like really thinking about, like when they're going into this stuff. It's not how necessarily that they'll look, because obviously they're going to change
Yeah.
significantly, but then like after a little while, you're like, okay, I look like this. This is it. Then you have to start looking at like, what can I do with this body now? And I think you're a great example of that.
Oh, well, thank you. So, do you guys
Yeah.
want to try a pole dancing class? We can do an episode from a pole dancing class. Do you guys have a desire?
I'm a spectator on that, not a participant.
Look at the time.
I gotta go. Okay, let me make notes. Dinner party, yes. Pole dancing class, no.
Pass on that. Hard pass, actually, on that one, just to be clear.
Okay, so I am going to put you guys in the hot seat for a second, because this question has been getting asked often, and I'm sure you guys are pretty much going to be expecting it at some point today. But as a man, how has sex changed for you before and after surgery? Because as women, you know, we obviously can't relate to that. But I've been getting the question a lot, like, what was the biggest differences for you?
Biggest differences. I guess the biggest difference, and I mean, it's not I'm not joking, but it'll come off as a joke, is that I have it now. Like, I couldn't at one point, when I was like at my absolute like worst, like it just wasn't possible.
Yeah.
Which is a very hard thing to admit when you're in it. You know, like you don't go to the doctor and like, hey doc, what's going on? Oh, not much, you know, a little bit of a cough. I don't think I can have intercourse. Like how do I fix that? It's I mean, I don't want to even say like it's a guy thing, but like as a guy, like it was crushing. It was absolutely just you feel like it's the worst thing in the world. It's this giant secret, and there's only one person presumably you have to have the conversation with, and it's never good, because you feel like a broken person. So yeah, it's different on that. It's nice because I get to like enjoy all parts of being in an intimate relationship, which is nice. So just top of the list that I'll say that. Yeah,
I agree 100%. So like before, I think that it required so much more energy. Like it was exhausting, you know, and sometimes it wouldn't even, you know, be completed. And it's like, I can't, I'm tired. Like I can't go anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And I will say for my first like 8 months after surgery, I did not have a sex drive. Not at all.
Interesting.
And
Right.
I mean, even still, like now, like I can go through spells where I don't even think about it. Like I just have completely other stuff on my mind. But I will say it's a lot easier now. It's a lot easier.
It's more accessible. It's on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
When you didn't have a drive, do you think like what like do you know like why that was, or it just was what it was? You weren't like, was it like a confidence thing? Was it like
I think it was just like hormones. I mean, I would assume that my
Interesting.
testosterone, as I was losing the weight, I mentioned it to my doctor, and she was like, "Well, that can happen," and that's all. That's pretty much all that was said. Was that can happen? It'll come back. That's pretty much all I was told.
Okay.
And so I just kind of wrote it out, and like I said, it comes in spells. Some weeks it doesn't even cross my mind. But then there's some weeks where I'm like a teenage kid, you know.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's been my experience.
Did you see the comment?
I did. I'm not laughing at you, Bobby. I promise. I'm sorry.
No, I see the comment too.
Stupid ADHD was like reading shit. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put a sticker
Do you
over
guys
that.
want to answer it?
I guess.
It varies day to day.
I try
some
not.
days you wake up and you feel sexy, and some days you don't.
Yeah, I sometimes I do. I'm no stranger to like catching my glance in a mirror and be like, yeah, I look good today. Like it's cool. obviously, as you can see, I get a little uncomfortable with it because it's just like you're put on the spot, and I don't really know how. I mean, I don't know how anybody reacts to it really, but yeah, it makes me feel uncomfortable. But I appreciate that it's there because I do feel like it's a little true, which is cool.
No, I think it's so hard too. I think when you spent like so many years being insecure or being made fun of, and then all of a sudden like somebody views you as attractive and you're not used to that. Like I
Yeah.
never got hit on. I was always told like, oh, you have a pretty face, but dot dot dot. If you lost weight, whatever. And then I feel like if people make comments now, like you just don't know how to react to it. And my initial reaction is, oh, I need to self-deprecate and stop this conversation. So if they're like, oh, you look really good, yeah, but look at my arms, like they're disgusting. Or I always try to like deflect and find something negative.
Yeah. Redirect.
Right. Yeah, lock this down.
Yeah.
I don't. I think it's so hard. And I'm curious because I know like for women, when it comes to sex, like we're so inside our heads. We're so vulnerable and we're so insecure. And I feel like women are often to a degree more insecure than men. I think there's a different, ideology about how beauty and women should be. Whereas men, even if you're not at your best self, like funny guys who are overweight can still get the chicks and stuff. Whereas back then,
I guess that's what I'm told. I don't know if that's true, but I've been told that.
That does not apply to women for sure.
Okay.
So like, I know that women are extremely insecure in the bedroom, and there's a lot of this pressure to, try to perform and stuff. But then for men, like if men are having an issue on their end, we're not being in tune to that. We're looking at it, is there something wrong with us? We are not pretty enough. We are not attractive enough. Like we're not getting you there. But that's not the case. And I think a lot of women need to understand that sometimes the men is going through their own insecurities too. It's not just us.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I think it's just like what we were talking about in terms of people that talk about this stuff. I feel like it's more recognized that you're insecure because you talk about it more. Like
Right.
I will go toe to toe with any lady on an insecure off. Like I am so insecure, like just all the time. It just doesn't come off as such, or I don't flat out be like, yeah, I'm an insecure person. It probably comes out in other ways, like I avoid or I don't make eye contact or a number of different ways. But I get what you're saying. Oh man, I really do believe that like it's like the other thing, like you're insecure, but you're more comfortable talking about it, and I'm kind of in awe about that.
Yeah, I honestly wish that men would be more vocal about this because there's certain topics that us women we can't answer. We can't relate to you guys in that way. Just like there's a lot of things that you guys can't relate to. Because like I know like for women, one of the things that we deal with is hormonal issues. And especially with the weight loss surgery, your hormones go out of whack, everything's out of whack, and then you start gaining and losing. But you guys don't have the same level of issues. But then I'm curious because, like, obviously, I don't have, as far as I know, I don't have testosterone in my system. But like, do the levels? Why are you always laughing at me? But do the levels like change for you guys? Like, is there like a significant difference after you have weight loss surgery?
I don't feel like I feel the same, testosterone wise.
I think I do too. The biggest change for me when I was going through it, and I'm glad this stopped, was I think when I was dropping like the first maybe 50 pounds or so, I developed this different like body odor. It was just different. Yeah, it wasn't like obviously body odor is body odor. It's not great, but I remember mine changed, and I was like, it was at a point. It was like, I hope this isn't how it is now, because it was a little. It made itself known, but luckily it leveled off, and then everything was fine. But yeah, no, for a little while I was like, oh, this must be one of those weird things that they were talking about, where like it may be a symptom, it may not be one, but it's not top of mind, and it's something you'll have to deal with. And that for me would have been a bad one.
But you know what's so funny? I don't hear about it very often, but you're not the first person who has made a comment about body odor changing. That's
no. Yeah.
Did you get that, Bobby, or not really?
No. Not that I'm aware of.
He's just like, I just walked around with my shirt off since day.
Yeah, I didn't. What body odor? I didn't have anything to sweat.
It's like it's great. It doesn't stink. You know,
Yeah.
I've heard people complain about like hiccuping or burping after eggs, like, you know, weird ones. Like,
I hate the gurgle. Do y'all still get the gurgle after you drink?
yeah.
My wife, so we'll be laying in bed, I drink carbonated sodas, and so I'll sit there and I'm not burping, but we'll sit there talking, and she'll be like right here, and we're watching TV, and then she's like, and it's just like coming out, and she's like, "Why did you just burp in my face?" I'm like, I didn't do it on purpose. And yeah, she swears up and down I do it on purpose, but I'll just take a sip, and about 30, 45 seconds, it just comes right back out.
I'm so glad you said something because people think I'm crazy when I say I can't burp. I don't know how to burp. Nothing happens, but I get this weird gurgling in my chest. And I thought for years only I could hear it. And I'll be sitting with somebody. I was talking to a friend till like 4 a.m. one time, and the whole night I'm like gurgling. And finally at 2:30 in the morning, he goes, Sherry, what the hell is wrong with you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, there's sounds coming out of you that I can't even comprehend. And I'm like, this realization that my whole life people could hear this besides me.
Oh my God.
Now, like, I tell people, I'm like, look, I'm going to gurgle. Like, just get over it.
Yeah.
Just leave.
I'm laughing at what Bobby was talking. It's so funny to be accused of something you're clearly not doing. Like that would just that I would laugh like I was, but like I'm like it's not about you, believe it or not. Like it just I don't know if you noticed, but I had a very a strange medical procedure, and I can't really do carbonation like normal people. So like, that would get me. I would be in stitches at that point. All the time.
Oh, here's a good question too.
Okay.
Were there any changes, good or bad, that you wish were talked about more by men?
I got a weird one. I mean, it's not even a weird one. It's one that like I don't talk about because I just assume it's me, but maybe it's not. I at some point, so like I was like super obese. I was, 525 pounds. I have excess skin. I have like excess everything, right? So like in terms of clothes, I can shop at most like regular clothes. I can like clothes stores. I'm a 1X now, and that's great. But sometimes like clothes don't fit me in a very flattering way. And before, when I was like that heavy, I was just like, oh, I would just go to the store. I would go get the biggest shirt, and that would be fine, and I would be on my way. It gets discouraging when you get in this middle ground where you're not obese, but you're also not skinny or, that sort of thing. That can trip me up, especially if I'm like seriously looking for clothes for like a serious thing. Yeah. It's hard to find clothes that fit me just right. And it's a weird thing to complain about because like it's a privilege now that I don't have to like wear a 5X shirt, but at the same time, like I still have the issue of not being able to find clothes that fit me really well.
Yeah, I agree. That's a perfect example because like I was telling y'all earlier, I have a Jeep, and Jeep shirts only go up to like a 2X, 3X.
What the heck?
That I'm aware of. I think you might be because a buddy of mine, I think he's got one in a 4X, but it's very, very few of them.
Sure.
But they fit small, and so I remember, I think it was my mom bought me one maybe 2 years ago. It was before I had the surgery, and she got me I want to say it was a 3X. And it fit on my shoulders, but it was like a crop top. It just was not long enough. It was the width of it, and how around it was perfect, but it just was not long enough. Like I think you can see my belly button, and I'm like, this can't work, Right. But now they fit fairly well, But yeah, I would say that as well because I would just go to Walmart and buy my clothes, just give me a pack of the 3Xs or 4Xs or whatever, and bring them home. And they're all this. I think one's burgundy, one's blue, and one's black. You
didn't even have to. You didn't have to even try it on. You're like, that's the biggest one, so that's the one.
Exactly.
Like it's that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wait, I'm just curious. Like when you guys would try to go clothes shopping when you guys were at your worst, like did you guys struggle with it like emotionally, or was it just kind of like, oh, this is just my reality. I'll just grab whatever shirt fits me?
I would say I struggled from time to time because like back in high school, because I was in the low 300s in high school. And so like my senior year, everybody was wearing, nice clothes. And so I wanted to wear nice clothes, but of course, a lot of nice clothes don't come in my size. So, you go to the store and you get the biggest size they have, and you do the whole where you move it around your body and try to stretch it out. and it still was like, oh, it's still a
Do
little
did you ever pull it over your knees and like kind of
yeah,
stretch it out?
yeah, squat
Yeah,
down.
yeah,
I did
yeah.
like where I would like move my arms like this and just kind of
Yeah.
like stretch it around my body until it made
Just real
me,
quick, like you're
yeah,
getting out of a trash bag.
yeah, and it never. I mean, sometimes it would work, but then as soon as you wash it, the next time you put it back on, you got to do it all over again, and yeah, so yeah, definitely finding clothes was a blessing after the fact.
I had a style in mind for me, like I like what I wear now, which is like, I like dressier, preppier, kind of clothes. But back when I was in high school, like the only thing that was really like open to me in my size was like, streetwear. So it was like, jorts, like, an Echo Unlimited, which is, I'm glad there's no really pictures of me back in the day, but like that wasn't like my style. That was just like, this is functional and this is what fits me. But like I didn't feel like it was an expression of like what I was about or like what I was into, because it just didn't.
But did you, like, at the time, did you just accept it as your reality, or did you like get depressed over it, like when you would go to stores?
Well, I mean, I was thankful that there was something that fit on that level. So like there's like a settling, thing going on. But like, yeah, like it was of course upsetting, because you're like, I know exactly what I'd be wearing right now. They just don't make it in my size. And it's easy, like in my head, I'm like, oh well, that's not on me. That's clearly on the stores. But like it was also on me as well, to some degree. Like I feel like in these sort of situations, it's not always one side that's the problem. Sometimes, like we can acknowledge that, like sometimes there's like there's a problem on both sides, and that's okay to acknowledge.
I think that was my biggest problem. Is I think I cried in every single dressing room I ever went in when I was
cried. Yeah, I definitely got to like almost that point, but yeah, no.
Like and maybe it's because you're more emotional, or like in your teenage years or whatever. But I remember like that, because nothing would ever fit. Like they didn't make clothing in a big enough size in the 90s or whatever. And I think that's probably, even to this day, which I hate, is one of the reasons I don't go clothes shopping very often, is I still like feel like if I have to go try this on, that like what happens if it doesn't fit? And even though I have to remind myself, no, it's gonna be okay. I just feel like there's this huge, like, I don't know, like a PTSD kind of thing, like these stupid dressing rooms.
Yeah, like, so last night, we got a thing I got to go to tonight, and so last night we went to Goodwill to just try to find some joke clothes. I didn't want to spend hardly any money on it, and so we went in there, and I needed to find some shorts, and so I was kind of doing the opposite. I was like, okay, these are tiny. I wonder if I could fit in them, and so I would throw them over my shoulder, and I went to the dressing room, and I put some on, and I mean, when I tell you, they were so tight, but I got them up. They were so tight, and then my wife looked at them, and I think they were made for like an 8-year-old girl. Because they were like bright pink, and they had like cool, like on the inside of the band or whatever, like just layered over there, like something you'd get from like Victoria's Secret or whatever.
Hell yeah.
And they were
for an 8-year-old.
Yeah, it was for a small girl. Because I was like, what brand is this? And she was like, I think it's a girl's clothing brand. So, but like, I like to do that. So next time you go out and you do try on clothes, take something that's way too small and just see. Because you might surprise. Like I never thought I was like, I can't believe they're even on my leg.
That's so funny. One more thing about clothes, because it just sticks out in my head. One of the more depressing moments I ever had was, I remember we went to like a state fair, and we were walking around, and I remember coming up to like a booth with shirts, and I remember there was a sign that says shirts up to 5X, and it was like hanging from the rafters, and you just see how big that shirt was, and you're like, I'm state fair big. that's like a just, yeah. And which, no offense to anybody that's your size, it has nothing to do with that. But like when you look at that and you see that shirt like on display as a rafter, as a selling thing, you're like, oh, that's the demo I'm in right now. And it's just like it's a bad mirror to be reflected in.
Yeah. Like, cause I was wearing like a large 3X.
Yeah.
And my heavy, some 4Xs, but I never forgot, I left my shirt over at my buddy's house, and I went back over there later, and his mom had washed it for me, and she sat it on his bed, and when I walked in the room, I don't know why my buddy said that, he was like, hey, you left your bed sheet over here, I don't know why you brought it.
My God.
And I was like, dude, that's my shirt. And when he unfolded it, because evidently his mom had folded it like it was a set of sheets, And I was like, dude, that's my T-shirt. And he was, of course, he was like, oh shit, my bad. Threw it at me, and we just kind of like laughed it off and didn't talk about it again. But I remember that.
That probably hurt a little bit. That probably had a
Yeah,
little sting to
bed
it.
sheet.
God.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I don't typically like travel with those things.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't bring that over to your house to play Xbox.
You left your bed sheet here. Oh my God. I would hide. I would move if I ever was like, if I was the one receiving the bed sheet shirt, or if I was the one saying that I had your bed, I would just change my identity and just never talk to anybody again. That's awful. My God.
Terrible. My favorite is when somebody asks you how far along you are due.
Oh, that's a very special.
Yeah.
Yes, I would imagine. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
there's no other state in which it's you're either a fat person or you're pregnant. Like for us, it's just, oh my God. Have you ever gotten that before?
Yeah.
No way. Where?
I don't
Do you remember? You have. That's so traumatizing. You have to remember where you were.
Well,
who was it?
Did you hit him?
I think it was like in a Target or something like that, and I was just shooting the shit with somebody. Like we were talking about some product or something like that, and I think she's like, oh my God, like how far along are you? And I'm like, I guess negative months because I'm not pregnant.
Jeez
and then it's
Louise.
just like this awkward tension. Like she knew she'd done, or whatever.
I thought that's one thing you're never supposed to comment on. Like,
you're not supposed to. But you know what's funny is, I think Ken, I told you this story before. I actually had a woman approach me in my car before. I was minding my own business, waiting, I think, for my husband to get off work. I was at a grocery store, and a woman knocked on my window in the car and had me roll it down and proceeded to talk to me about bariatric surgery and how I should consider doing it because she did it and it completely changed her life. And I'm like, lady, this is a Vons. Like, I'm literally minding my own business in my car. What makes you think it's okay to approach me and basically tell me, hey, you are so fat that I felt compelled to come and talk to you about it?
Insane. People are nutcases. I had someone at work come up to me post-COVID and were like, after I had lost all this weight again, they were like, I used to look at you and be like, he's going to die soon. And I'm so glad. I was like, why share that with me? Like, you could
have kept that to yourself.
Keep it to yourself. Like, I'm glad you're happy for me, but you don't have, just say you're happy for me and just move on.
Yeah.
Like, because like that got in my head for a second, because I was like, well, she thought it. And I didn't work with this person. Like, I barely was. It's like, so she would see me at a glimpse and be like, he's going to die soon. I was like, so I wonder what the people that were around me all the time used to think. And it gets in your head.
Screw people, though. I swear to God, people need filters.
I'm so sorry if this comes off. And now when I'm at work and I see people that where I was, like I keep it in a cage. I promise you, I don't do anything about it. But when I see somebody in that position, I'm like, I wish I could reach out and be like, do you want help? Do you want to talk about it? But I'm like, that's not my place. That's a psychopath's fantasy. Like, you don't do that to people. But I get the temptation. I totally get it. I have it sometimes. I don't ever do anything about it. Well, like, I have it sometimes.
I totally get the temptation. And I see people, and especially if they have like the same body type, and all of a sudden, like, looking yourself in the mirror from the past, like, there's a part of you that wishes you can help them. But I figure all I can do is be as vocal about it, about my experience in a public forum as possible. And then if people approach me, I will tell you everything you need to know. But knowing how it feels to have somebody just insert their opinion on your life onto you, I couldn't do it to somebody else. And I do have to keep myself in check.
I remember I forget who said it to me, but I remember the words, and that was like, nobody's coming to save you. And like, it's so true. Like, when I see somebody, like, I don't even know if there's, it's even stupid to me to say they're even struggling. They may be fine, but like the perception of it is, I'm like, he's struggling with his weight. Yeah. I'm like, it's not your job to be like, hey, I'm here to save the day. That's insane. But like, it's really, it is up to you. Like, but I get wanting, I used to like, I hope somebody can see me someday and ask me in the exact right way and then turn my life around. Like, I used to have that stupid fantasy, but it's just a fantasy. It never was going to happen.
You never know.
Yeah, right.
Wrong attitude to have. shit, like we went way over time.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. Like Restream was just like, you just received 100 messages today. Congratulations. I was like, wow.
Holy shit! Like, well, I hope you guys are not late for anything because I got a few more minutes. I'm not done with you guys. Oh, somebody did ask a question on here. Why are you always laughing at me? I don't know what is so funny.
Because you're funny. You're genuinely funny.
Wait, am I funny?
Yeah, like I feel like you're Goodfellowsing me right now. Stop. How am I funny? I don't know. You're just funny. But how am I funny?
I'm funny how? Like I amuse you. I make you laugh.
Yeah. I say funny jokes.
You guys.
We've seen Goodfellas. That's good to know.
Okay, first of all, I'm Italian. It's the movie of my peoples. I have seen
it is a requirement. It's like required reading.
Before your like 13th birthday, you have to see Goodfellas.
Yeah.
And the Godfather trilogy. Yeah,
it's like John Travolta, the Bible, and Goodfellas. Yeah, it's required. Yes.
Wait, was Bobby shaking his head no because you've never seen Goodfellas?
Nope.
Are you Italian, Bobby?
No, my wife is.
Well, there you go. Well, ask her about it.
He's like an 8th Italian.
Oh, okay. just the good half.
I love that. You know what sucks is I'm actually supposedly 100% Italian or 75% Sicilian and 25% Italian. Apparently there's a difference.
There is.
My husband tells me I'm not a real Italian because I don't speak Italian and I've never been there.
That's debatable.
I think it's debatable.
It's debatable.
Do you do this when you're cooking?
You do talk with your hands a lot.
I do talk with my hands a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I call it Italian Sign Language. Yeah.
It's so true. So a huge issue with women when they have the surgery is that we deal with crazy hair loss. Do you guys deal with the same thing?
No. Never.
It thinned. Mine's thinned.
I would kill for Bobby's hair. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
I would straight up murder somebody for that head of hair. Like, oh my God.
PSA announcement: Ken would not really murder somebody.
Oh no, I would. No, I would. if you have someone in mind and you're good with plugs, hit me up. I'm definitely available. Like, holy moly.
Abort mission.
Yeah.
No, that's one of the things I'm the most jealous about, I think. Like, I love before and after pics. I got into this game for before and after pics. But I love a transformation pic, especially for guys. They lose the weight and they have that great set of hair. And I was like, I will never experience that because, like, I started losing my hair at 17. This has nothing to do with the bariatric stuff. But, like, that's a common thing I get. I was like, no, I was bald before it was cool. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I have some family members that started losing. Like my uncle, he started losing his hair at 20, but like my dad, he still got a full head of hair, and then my grandfather has a full head of hair. So I'm hoping that I keep mine. But like as far as the bariatric standpoint, mine thinned out, but I never like grabbing gloves.
Did it bounce? Did it like did it bounce back? Like you noticed?
Yeah, it's just like it was before.
Interesting.
Yeah. But, you know, they say for men, it's going to be based off of your mom's dad. Mm-hmm. So depending on the kind of hair that your mom's dad had is going to be more of a reflection of what you will have.
Okay. I'm fairly sure my grandmother at my dad's funeral was wearing a full-blown wig. Fairly sure.
Really?
Like I saw her adjusting it a little bit. It was very distracting. As she's doing my dad's eulogy. Like, I'm pretty sure it's a wig.
God, that's because I got it really, really bad. And what sucks is my hair was naturally very thin to begin with.
Oh, so sure.
Very, very noticeable. And then it kind of came back, but I think it's never been the same, which sucks.
But can't you do like collagen and things of that nature?
I'm sure you can.
I take 2 biotin gummies every night.
That's what it is.
For the hair, skin, and nails that you get from Target in the pink bottle, I take 2 every night.
Look at him. He's glowing. Whatever he's doing, do it.
Yeah, do you see the skin?
It's fantastic.
I'm actually surprised he's wearing a shirt for this thing. Like he got.
I said in my group yesterday, I was like, because the picture you sent was, I was like, I too will be shirtless, and then I was like, if he has no shirt on, I might do that as well. But then like I was like half kidding, but half not kidding. No, seriously, he's got beautiful skin. I'm convinced that the question was for Bobby, so I actually don't feel that awkward now.
Oh my gosh, I gotta quit hyping me up.
Why can't you be hyped up? Because remember, one of the questions is it really hard feeling sexy and being sexy?
I wouldn't know.
That's awesome.
Thank you. We should probably wrap this up.
I know. Is there anything that you guys want to add or say before we leave?
No.
Like I said last time, don't be scared of the what ifs. Don't let the what ifs control your life.
Right.
I absolutely love that. Like, you literally caught me off guard by stopping the show, because I keep having to like remind myself to look at the time. I'm like, holy shit, like we really went over time. So I totally get it. Like, honestly, like I seriously cannot thank you guys enough for taking the time out today and talking with me and talking with everybody watching. I am really bummed that Chris wasn't able to make it today, but I think that today was just absolutely amazing. And I already told Chris he is going to come back at a later episode and join us. If anybody has additional questions from the male perspective or want to ask these guys, you can send me a message. You can comment on this video. You can reach out to them directly on TikTok. I'll put their, things on the video afterwards. Ken is Bariatric Chef and Bobby is Bariatric Bobby. And you can find their content is both amazing. And there's so
Bariatric Bobby! Definitely take a video of him doing that. I would love to see that.
Oh,
yes, please.
It's so funny.
I want people to scream Bariatric Bobby when I'm out on the street now.
I do too. I really do too.
I'm gonna post it and I'm gonna tag you guys on it.
Thank you.
But yeah, you guys are just so amazing. Like I said, I seriously can't thank you enough. You've totally made my day. You've made everyone else's day by being vocal enough to even talk about it. Because I know for men, it's a lot harder to be vulnerable and talk about shit like this. And you guys were freaking champs about it. Honestly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, on that note, if you guys want to watch future episodes, you can check us out at YouTube at Unzipped with Sherry. You can also follow my Facebook page, Unzipped with Sherry Arcuria, where you can watch old episodes, and you can also get notifications for any new upcoming live episodes. The boys don't know this, but we're definitely 100% doing this again in the very near future. They don't have a say anymore. It's just going to happen. And on that note, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.